Hi, I'm Josie Smith and you're watching Scottish Equestrian TV. Here at Blair Castle International Horse Trials 2013, I am joined by professional eventer James Adams. James, how's Blair going so far for you?
Yeah, we're having a good event so far. I've got two horses here. My first horse in the one-star, Stainsbury Alberto, his first time at this level. He's definitely feeling the buzz, very lively, very bright about the whole occasion, but he did his dressage yesterday. Quite pleased with his test. He a little bit tense, but certainly didn't make any mistakes. He went quite nicely. He'll be a horse that needs to gain experience, and it's a brilliant event to bring him to have some exposure to the bigger things and to see how the international scene goes. My second horse is a horse in the two-star, a horse called Scot Free. He's actually also doing his first CCI two-star and did a nice test. Possibly lacked a little bit of flair in the dressage, but again he made no mistakes. Probably left his best work in the warm-up arena, which was a little bit, yeah, a little bit frustrating. But yeah, generally pleased. You always feel as though the mark could be a little bit kinder, but so far so good.
How are you thinking that these horses are going to cope with the course tomorrow?
Yeah, coming to Blair, the main consideration is that the horses are very fit, and we've certainly been doing an awful lot of fitness work with the horses. Having looked at the course, having walked the course, the challenge is strong enough at both levels, both in the one-star and in the two-star. The big consideration is the hills, and that certainly does alter the way the horses run. I'd like to think they're both fit enough. Both courses ask enough questions, and I think from start to finish there's no time to stop thinking and to keep the horses thinking.
As a professional, you're obviously having to jump from one ride to another when you're having a busy weekend or day at competitions. How hard is that for you? Because tomorrow, for example, in the cross country, you're obviously going to be knackered, presumably, or slightly tired after you've ridden one. So, how does it differ between these two horses?
It would be, at a one-day event, it would be quite often the case I would ride 5 horses in a day. So that would obviously be 5 dressage, 5 show jumping, 5 cross country. Coming to a 3-day event with 2 horses, you do actually find that you've got a lot of time on your hands. So while I've got 2 horses to cross country tomorrow, one will be quite early on in the morning and one won't be till later in the afternoon. We'll certainly have plenty of time to get focused, switch from one ride to the other. They're both quite different actually. The first horse, he would be a very bold horse, a very quick horse. The other horse is probably a little bit more economical. Very capable. I do think he'll notice the hills, and it might be a case of just when I get onto him adapting that I probably just do need to ride him a little bit more forward.
So Blair's a bit like a spa weekend for you then up here.
It's far from being a spa weekend, but it's certainly we haven't been rushed off our feet. No, we've had plenty of time to work the horses in between, and we do like to keep the horses out of the stables as much as possible, whether that be walking them, hand grazing them, just keeping them interested in what's going on and keeping them moving around, and then along with that, walking the course every day.
You touched on your fitness a little bit earlier. How do you prepare for an event like this? Because obviously now sportsmen take their fitness, and riders especially, take their fitness a lot more seriously than they did and think about training and diet, certainly now. How do you cope?
Yeah, absolutely. I think by the time we get this far into the season, as riders, we are where we want to be fitness-wise. Certainly at the beginning of the season, I start running quite a lot and making sure that after the winter off, I'm getting myself conditioned again. So I do quite a bit of running. But once you're into the swing of it and you're riding 7 and 8 horses a day, that is generally enough to keep you fit. As far as the diet goes, certainly try to keep it as healthy as possible. Stay away from as much of the stodge and carbs as possible. Certainly keep a lid on the alcohol, especially when you're here. You don't want to be waking up feeling blurry. The fitness, I think we all as riders, it's our responsibility to be as fit as we can, because not only do we want the horses to stay attentive the whole way around the course, but we've got to stay sharp and we've got to stay focused, and we don't want to be tired on the second half or towards the end of the course. So it is certainly something we all consider, and I'd like to think I'm fit enough for the challenge.
So you're from Yorkshire, home of many an equestrian gods, more or less. Tim Stockdale, loads of great eventers and show jumpers have come from the area. Where are you based now? Still in Yorkshire?
Yeah, I'd be more North Yorkshire, quite close to County Durham, a place near to Darlington. So we've got quite a few events up there. Our nearest event would be Richmond Horse Trials. That's a one-day event. We have actually lost a couple of events up there, but I still do favour coming to Scotland. I really enjoy coming to Scotland, and I enjoy the welcome you get, and I enjoy the cross-country courses that are here. Very bold, old-fashioned type of courses.
Tell us a bit about your history, James. How did you get started? Because obviously a lot of our Scottish equestrian TV viewers are maybe pony clubbers or novices. How do they try and emulate you and get to your level?
Yeah, it's interesting, that one, because I came from a complete non-horsey family, and probably as a small child had this passion and was very into horses and was very keen to get into horses, and was lucky enough to have riding lessons. And when I was 10 I got my first pony. I actually didn't start eventing until I was in my 20s, in my mid-20s, so I was relatively late coming into eventing. I had done a fair amount of show jumping previous to that, and I started eventing probably in 2006, and it just kind of escalates, you know. It's certainly addictive. I've gone through the ranks. I did my very first 3-day event here in 2007, so that was my first time doing a 1-star. That was with a horse called Pricewise, and I took that horse to Burley last year in the 4-star. So yeah, 6 years from being here doing the 1-star to being at Burley.
That's really inspiring, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be interested to hear that you've been able to progress through the ranks so quickly. So obviously if you had more of a background in show jumping rather than eventing, is show jumping then your favourite discipline, your strongest discipline when it comes to 3-day eventing?
My favourite discipline, I think any event rider does the eventing because the favourite discipline is the cross country. That's why we do it. If your favourite discipline was dressage, then I would imagine you'd stick to doing the pure dressage. So yeah, certainly the thrill of the cross country is what attracts us to do the eventing. I do like the show jumping side of it. It's a phase that many event riders like the least, I guess. It's probably one of my favourite phases, along with cross country, which leaves dressage as probably been my least favourite phase.
Well, you seem to have done okay so far in the 2 horses. Talk to us a bit about your sponsors, James, because obviously as a professional rider you are going to need quite a bit of help.
Absolutely, yes. I'm very lucky to have NAF who sponsor me and my team of horses, so they keep my horses in tip-top condition with their many supplements. I'm very lucky that they advise me on what nutrients my horses need and what is best to keep them on the road. So NAF have been a really big supporter of mine actually, and have been very generous with what I've been offered. I've been lucky enough this year to gain sponsorship from Equestrian, who are a bespoke Italian clothing, so many people have commented on how fine my new tails and how fine my new attire is, and that's all thanks to Equestrian, who've provided me with beautiful clothing, from my tail coat to my show jumping coat to show shirts, jodhpurs, socks, caps. So Equestrian certainly have been very good, and also this year I have been given Devaku saddles to ride in. So yeah, as far as the sponsorship goes, I feel very lucky to have those people backing me, and it definitely makes a big difference to getting the job done in the right way.
Finally, what are your hopes for the rest of the year, James?
Yeah, my hopes for the rest of the year, I've got some very good young horses. The young horse that I've got here, Stainsby Alberto, I'd like to think he would go on and do a 2-star. He's done a couple of intermediates already and he feels very good at that level, so that would be the plan with him. Sadly, the horse that I was hoping to take to Burley, Pricewise, he's injured. He won't be out again this year, but having had horses all my life, it's the highs and lows, and it's almost part and parcel of the job. He won't be back out this year, which means I won't have another horse at that level. I will be concentrating on some very nice 5-year-olds that I've got. I've got some good 6-year-olds that I'll be aiming at the 6-year-old final at Osberton. I've got 2 very nice 6-year-olds. Bought them both as 4-year-olds, and they've been getting very good results, winning at their level this season. So I'm very excited about them, and the plan would be probably to take them and do a 3-day with them also at the end of the year. The horse that I've got here in the 2-star is a horse that I'll hopefully have an advanced run on by the end of the season, if all goes well.
Okay, well, James, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the cross country tomorrow. We'll got our eye on you, and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.